What did you learn, and was failing even more important for you in the big picture at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the big picture of things, you learn a lot. I shortened my leg kick. I learned a couple things that keep me on time in the box. I learned how to kind of navigate the big league lifestyle. So yeah, I learned a ton, and I definitely needed that. And I knew I needed to go back down to AAA.
Matt, welcome to the Waddle and Silvy Show. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
You got it. So I heard you on Marquee right afterwards saying, "What an environment to have a walk-off win." Take us through that at bat and what it was like to just stand there in the middle of the pile, being greeted by your team in your first walk-off hit.
Yeah, I mean the at bat. Nico had a great at bat before me. Good walk, first and second. I know the situation. I know a single scores them. Guys been throwing a lot of sliders. As a team, we're kind of looking for sliders. So, I'm just kind of looking for that pitch early. He throws some really nasty sliders down, just kind of clips the bottom. And I'm like, gosh, I just need to see one more over the plate that I can do something with. And he threw a good one, kind of middle in almost. And I was able to kind of stay through it the other way. Hit it pretty inside on the bat, but got that single. And everyone running out and Pete giving me a big chest bump and, ripping my jersey and all that stuff. It was unreal, such a great moment. It was cool, really cool.
Do you let that? Do you enjoy that for the night? Like, do you go out, whether you have a cocktail or something, or when that's done, are you done with it and you're moving on your focus to the next day?
Yeah, I mean, that's done, and you move on to the next day for sure. Awesome. Got to, call my parents, enjoy the night with my wife. But you got to flip the switch and, on to the next day.
Matt, it looked like PCA was the first guy to greet you out there. What does it mean to you to have a guy who's now getting most valuable player recognition or thoughts, who went through the process last year as well, having to go down, work on some things, and come back up? But to have a guy like that be the first guy that meets you out on the field and celebrates with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just a great clubhouse guy, great teammate, good friend of mine. So, it's a great moment. I think we'd all do it for each other, and to have him run out is awesome. So I think it's just a testimony to how close we are as a team.
Has he been a good resource for you, Matt, in helping you through the process of getting, acclimated to the big leagues?
Yeah. No, he's been there for me. I think in general, it's just kind of something you got to learn on your own. You got to go through it, and you got to struggle, and you got to figure stuff out. You got to figure out what to do, what's right, what's wrong, how to approach the game. And then it starts to feel like the same game, it starts to feel like baseball again. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It really feels like baseball. I feel like, I can contribute to this team, and we have a great team. It's a ton of fun.
It's interesting that you brought that up about struggling, because I was, as we knew we were going to have you on, I was reading some stuff and then looking back at some of your press conferences from the past. The day the Cubs drafted you, or the day after when you met the media, you said you were excited to be a Cub because you wanted to be brought up quickly, but how also it was important for you to fail wherever you would get brought up, whether it was to AAA and you would struggle and fail early. What did you learn, and was failing even more important for you in the big picture at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the big picture of things, you learn a lot. I shortened my leg kick. I learned a couple things that keep me on time in the box. I learned how to kind of navigate the big league lifestyle. I learned a ton, and I definitely needed that. And I knew I needed to go back down to AAA. And so, I feel like it all happened how it was supposed to, and I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
When you say big league lifestyle, what was the biggest thing that you learned about big league lifestyle that you had to adjust to?
Yeah, I mean, just adjusting to kind of how you look at everybody. When you first get there, everyone's a big leaguer, and you're like, wow, this is, it's just like it's new, and it's, it can be a little bit intimidating and overwhelming, and then kind of figuring out where you fit in and all of that, and figuring out who you are in that process. And, it definitely, you got to figure out what makes you comfortable, and so that's kind of where I'm at now.
With that in mind, Matt, I hate to use the word hazing, but as a rookie, has anything strange taken place? Like, have you been handed dinner bills? Or are you asked to dress like a Disney character on road trips? How are the guys treating you?
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. So everyone's treating me good, and we have good relationships with all my teammates. And, yeah, it's been cool getting to know everybody and getting closer to everybody. So.
You mentioned PCA. Who are you also tight with, and which veteran, older guy, has taken you in most?
I mean, I've got a lot of good. Nico's been great. Happer's been great. Dan's has been great. No, those guys have been really. JT's been awesome. John Birdie. I think everyone's done a really great job making me feel comfortable and help me through the process.
Well, we know you have a hitters meeting. We'll let you go. Let's catch up down the road, and we can learn a little more about you. Continued success. It's a great story, Matt. We're rooting for you.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your time.
There you go. Matt Shaw on yesterday's walk-off. And, yeah, as I was saying, the Cubs then got called for a hitters meeting for tonight's game against